welcome to Podcast First Player, episode 267. I'm one of your hosts, Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who said if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, then I found the perfect place for James Corden. Tiny bloody Dan.
Yes.
I'll let you know the secret, Dan. As people have already guessed by the thumbnail and the title of the episode, we've already got the topic in mind. And I was, depending on how good the movie was, I was going to wear my Spider-Man suit. As you can tell, I chose not to.
It would have been completely lost on this movie if you hadn't done.
I'd have painted it black and made it look just eerily enough similar to Spider-Man.
Mate, the only thing I want to see that's painted black is a Rolling Stones album or something.
So, obviously, we're going to be talking about Madam Web, the new Sony Marvel movie, Dan, with a budget of $80 million and a box office grossing of £51 million. Currently sat with do you want to guess the Rotten Tomatoes score before we jump on? Okay.
Callum, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk about this.
We've got to. And whose fault is that?
Mine.
You dragged us there. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go and watch it.
It's my fault. I admit it. But it's mainly for the fact that we're always sort of like with the Marvels. It was, we're always on the back foot. We end up talking about it months afterwards. This one though, not because of any sort of inbuilt controversy or anything like that. That you sort of like, oh yeah, let's go and see this so we can fucking rag on it like everyone else. It was just like, look, they've got the Spider license back. They've had Across the Spider-Verse. I don't think Marvel, at least they haven't set out any plans, or at least I'm not aware of any Spider things
don't think
that
so.
The MCU is doing. So, this is the first. Obviously, we knew already that this wasn't a Spider-Man film, but it's in the same setting of something to some degree, and I like the Spider properties for the most part. They haven't really had a miss in the last 10 years or something like that?
Since Disney's had them.
Pretty much. But I mean, even Spider-Man 2 is still great. Spider-Man 1 was pretty genre defining. 3 was a bit poo, but they had a lot of other sort of competition going on at that point. But since then, though, they've not really skipped a beat. It's like the Garfield ones, they've got their moments. Either you love them or you're not super fond of them. But no one's like, oh my god, this is the worst thing. Boo! This isn't Spider-Man. Where's my Spider-Man?
Garfield's great,
but
as Spider-Man, the films themselves are, like say, very very mixed. But they are still. I mean, it's not as good as this version of Spider-Man, and I prefer this Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, you could make your arguments.
Yeah, there's good elements to it. I still stand by. I think Andrew Garfield's an excellent Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I think he does a really good job.
I think he got his moment in No Way Home.
Yeah, definitely.
But this is fucking gash.
I thought you were gonna have something profound.
No.
I got a feeling.
Spoilers.
Yeah. I mean, no one's gonna go watch it.
So. No one's gonna watch it anyway. Yeah, exactly.
But it seems like on paper they had a good idea, and
I disagree. I don't think they ever had a good idea.
I do think that paper was a napkin in like a Burger King or something, and then somebody spilt something on it, and then it just got a bit jumbled up. But it's 2003, Dan. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Old baby Peter Parker is getting ready to his way out of the womb. Who's Peter Parker? Who's Ben? Is Adam Scott?
Yep.
Because by 2003, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is already Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. That's already a thing. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, I think he's about 15. I think by that year. And then I actually looked this up prior, and then Tom Holland's Spider-Man is either just about to be bitten or he's just literally got his powers that year.
Well, it depends on, because he's been Spider-Manning for a year or so in Civil War, right?
Yeah. But that's what I mean, by the time-wise, because that's late, that's after 2003.
But a lot, that wasn't like in 2004.
I'd say it was.
Oh, wait, sorry. Right, so you mean, he was born in 2003, and therefore it kind of, timeline-ish, kind of works out.
No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work out for any of them.
Oh, what a surprise.
So this would be, in fact, a different Peter Parker.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, I didn't even recognise the Ben connection until...
Really?
Was it Emma Roberts?
Yeah,
that was...
she was Peter's mum. And Ben's sister.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But it wasn't until... it was something like when someone just said Ben, I was just like, did I just not hear his name before or something? Or did I just not... I just did not connect the two.
They drummed it in more than the Pepsi advertising.
I mean, which is just sort of like, I mean, it's so weird when people just have to advertise Pepsi for literally no reason.
You know what the best thing about that, though, was?
So refreshing.
So, for context, Dakota Johnson's character, Cassie, a.k.a. Madam Webb, she goes to that work event thing where they're having a barbecue and stuff. And then the product placement for
the
Pepsi...
exposition barbecue. Yeah. Yes, I agree. Oh, I boo. I hate family stuff. Why would you go to your work colleague's sister's baby shower?
Exactly. To support Ben, who she's then just left.
He fucks off outside and just
immediately
cooking meat with the boys or whatever.
But they got this product placement for Pepsi, who did pour a bit of money into this for the advertising, as you can tell throughout the movie. But they offer her the Pepsi, and she goes, "No, I want a beer."
I got a feeling though that wasn't anything to do with the product placement or the script. That was Dakota just going, I can't
I need something.
You need to like Irish it up or something, because good grief, if I have to sit here and just go, all the women just sort of like, oh, aren't babies great? And she's just like, what the fuck? I imagine there's been more people than that in that room. And also, why would you go? Like, if someone asked me to go to a baby shower for someone that I worked with, family member, I'd be like, nah, actually.
Right.
No, I mean, I wouldn't even go to your baby shower, let alone a member of your family. Because I didn't get the impression from that whole thing that, like, Emma Roberts and Dakota Johnson, they had any kind of relationship prior to them just sort of like...
I assume they, like, know who each other is, but not to the point where they're like, where Ben goes, oh, by the way, my sister's pregnant. She goes, oh, no way. Give her all my best and everything else. She'll just go, okay.
Yeah.
We met one Christmas in a passing. Like,
also the whole you did your ambulance stuff so well, I drew you a picture of my family. She's just like, oh, what do you want me to do with that, idiot child?
But even if that's how you think,
but
you just take it off.
That would be me, because I'd be like, oh, I don't want this, because, like, you know, I don't know you, and it, you know, but you go, oh, thanks, buddy, that's so nice of you. You know, I hope they get better, and then you could just in the bin,
yeah.
And like that's exactly what Adam Scott says. He's just like, oh, it's fine, just throw it away in a sec.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, yeah, because you would, because you'd be like, oh, this is like the 50th one of this a week, or whatever, what shit or whatever. And just go, ugh. But you just go, that's like, oh, you know, take care of everyone,
like a human.
You know, like someone who works in the medical profession, who usually is interested in trying to save people's lives, rather than just going, sorry, I've got to get out of here to go to his sister's baby shower.
You guys close? No. I hear she's got Pepsi, though. Delicious, refreshing Pepsi.
It's cheap in all the shops.
It's a big shame, though, because I quite like I think Dakota Johnson does an okay job for what she's given.
I think she's kind of great. It's just that there's far too much of her reading from books aloud and kind of like narrating herself, which is a bit odd. I think Adam Scott's a bit hard done by in this. Like, he didn't need to do this. I
don't think anybody needed to do this.
No, but all of the I just feel that outside of those two, everyone else I just don't care about.
Well,
like all the spider people don't care about them.
Spider people are just normal people, except for one time in a vision. Why put it in the trailer?
But that was how you get people in. You're like, oh, 3 spider women. This is going to be cool. And then it's just like, here's a flashback. Cool. Can we swim in the costume again? No. Also, I don't care, because those costumes were gash. I mean, I didn't realise. I don't think I'd seen them up close properly, and like during the trailers or anything, until, you know, they sort of like murder that guy and throw him out the window. Also, Again, why is there no context behind why they're trying to kill him? These spider people are okay killing people, are they?
There's a curse. Exactly. That's the exact face I was looking for, Dan.
But the curse that he's on about, so he's like, oh, the spider people in the jungle, they said, oh, because he stole a spider from the jungle, he's cursed. Yeah. Presumably meaning that he will be killed.
He'll be dealt with by spider people.
But then, where did they get their
They live there.
Spider powers from?
They live there.
No, not the people in the jungle who it.
Oh, the girls.
Sense, yeah, because then that means that all three of them have been bitten by that same exact spider, which means it's either Ezekiel's spider, so they all ended up with him somehow, which means that at that point he knows who they are, mental, or Cassie takes them all to the jungle, and they all. Which I thought when she was like, "Oh, I need to go to Peru." Do you? Cool. How are you going to sort that out? Just jump on a plane to Peru, are you? Yeah, all right, we'll see you in a week. Mental. But she goes to Peru to just meet some guy. I was going to say have a Skype chat. It's in like 2003. It doesn't exist, but whatever. She goes there. She has a spider vision or whatever. But I thought they were going to be like, oh, well, we'll all come. And then the spiders all jump them and just be like, spider stab.
Yeah.
And, they all get spider powers. Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, well, then maybe in this film we don't see them develop any of these abilities, or we don't get the cool costume. They're kind of like doing cool jumps and like sticking to roofs.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Just learning.
Yeah, but then that would be for the sequel. But I have the strong suspicion, Callum, that before they even finished this, they knew that there was not going to be any sequel for this at all. No. I think they'd given up on this almost as soon as it went into production. Quite frankly, because I just don't think. It seems to have, and I don't really want to take away from anyone who works in the film industry, because you do have a hard job and, you should go on strike if you get fucked over. But it seems like they were making a long episode of Smallville.
It's not even that good.
Like, the story beats are all a bit hokey. Like, the fact that it's just some woman in 2003 with computer screens that are all this thick, like, where's she getting them from? How does that situate? Like, how's that relationship? Was she in love with him? Is he holding her hostage?
He's paying her, isn't he? He did say that.
Oh, did he? Okay, again,
in a line that wasn't delivered by him. I can't remember the exact percentage, but a massive percentage of his lines have been ADR'd.
I did see that, like, when he's in bed with the NSA agent or whatever, and he wakes up and he says something. I was just like, "You didn't say that, did you?"
Most of his stuff,
like,
most of his lines.
Pretty sure your lips just went in a different direction, but whatever. So let's just recap here. So the story is that he was in 1973 or whatever it was, 1976, with Cassie's mom. Also, who in their right fucking mind, in their 8th month of pregnancy, goes, "Do you know where I belong? In the jungles of Peru."
In all fairness, that's answered later on.
What,
in all
she was
fairness,
looking
for a cure for Cassie.
Sure, but do you know what you can do?
I'm not
you
saying
can wait till you've had the baby.
I'm not saying it's right. But
or you go, "Hey, how about I hire a team to go and find me a bunch of spiders that apparently can cure shit?" Because presumably, if she'd have gone there and found the spider and Ezekiel hadn't shot her in the face or whatever, she was... well, he did shoot her in the face, but shot her.
It was an accident.
She would have taken that spider, so she would have been cursed.
Potentially.
So wouldn't she have been cursed to have been killed by 3 spider people?
Maybe. Maybe. That might have been a more interesting film.
Yeah, maybe. But then it's also... There's a whole thing with like the flashback stuff, and it's Cassie kind of trying to get to terms with what happened. And she blames her mom for not being there, not being around, or whatever. I don't understand why she suddenly has this moment of like, "Oh my god, you did this to try and save me." It's like, you do realise she died in childbirth. You never knew her. I don't understand why you've got this level of resentment against her.
I assume it is just that. But I don't know what it's like to be a foster kid and being in the system and stuff. You're always led to believe that it's not great. And I assume it's what...
But it's not because your foster parents or the system said, oh, well, actually, your mum just dumped you on a fire station, thing or whatever. And, you've just been sort of like forced into the system because of a shitty upset. Like, you know that your mum died in childbirth.
Well.
So why on earth would you blame her?
Do they know
Except,
that, though?
Yeah, because she fucking says it.
But that's another thing. How does she know that?
Well, presumably...
The spider people took her from the island because she died there. He takes her to the water areas, like, this is where your mum died and where you were born.
Yeah, but then does that mean that they took her, like Cassie, as a baby to...
New York or
stuck
wherever.
her on a boat or whatever and sent her back and said, here's a baby, you need to take care of it. By the way, your mum died in Peru.
Yeah.
Here's all of her stuff.
Thanks, weird spider people. I never thought about that until just...
Yeah, I hate the spider people outfit. I kind of dig the it's just like, instead of it's like it's a genetically altered radioactive whatever, it's just like, no, they just exist in nature. Do they? Yeah. Sure. But but then you say that there's a specific tribe that they kind of communicate with them or something, because they seem very friendly towards these people. And also they just went, oh, this woman looks like she's dying. Here, spider, bite her. Now, did they do that because they think, oh, like she's going to die because she was shot, so we'll put her in water as well. Also, gunshot wounds, don't put people in water. It draws the fucking blood out. You're going to bleed out faster. They just put a bit of pressure on it. She might have been all right.
Not with spider healing.
But that's the thing. If they had it bite her to heal her, they didn't look like they were doing anything else other than just went...
I had the feeling...
It's like, well... Oh, no, she's been shot. That's all right. Get a spider on her. That'll sort her out.
It seemed more to just give her enough strength to deliver the baby. That's all I took away from it.
I would agree, but then you've just copied what they did in Blade.
Oh, yeah.
Blade's mom was bitten by a vampire while she was pregnant. She gave birth, and bang, baby vampire crossbreed.
That's also boast. See, like... Jason from Star Wars, like Hera and Kate, like, they'll take a trait from the fam, and it's typically the cooler one. So, can you imagine if Blade was born, but he was just human? That'd be shit.
Well, but I'm pretty sure that in the comics he is just human.
No, he's
like after the films. No, I think after the Wesley Snipes film, they made him half human, half vampire. But I'm pretty sure when they wrote him, he was just a dude.
Oh, I thought he
was just a vampire.
I don't think it was the term Daywalker, but I thought he had like the strengths and that of a vampire, but none of the weakness.
Let me just double check, because I might be wrong in thinking.
I could be wrong, and I'm just thinking too much of the movies. But
yeah, because here we go. Fictional character, blah blah blah, written by blah blah blah. Supporting character when it's yeah, Eric was born in a brothel in London. Yikes!
I can relate.
The doctor was blah 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 blah.
Caught.
Powers and abilities. Due to an enzyme in his bloodstream resulting from his mother being bitten by giving birth to him, Blade's immune to the bites of typical supernatural vampires. I think that's where I'm going wrong. So Blade is depicting having all of a vampire's strengths and none of the weaknesses except for the bloodlust. Basically, that's what they've made up for the film.
Right.
Yeah, so ignore all that anyway.
Just go back inside of me.
Yeah. Sorry.
So I'll just do a clap. Go. So anywhere after there. Fuck, what was you saying? Oh, the baby thing, yeah.
Spider baby, yeah.
3, 2, 1. But did you have the feel? So obviously, I'll be totally honest. Whilst I love Spider-Man and most Marvel things, Madam Web is something that I think we had talked about this from the trailer. My main knowledge of Madam Web is from the Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s.
See, mine was from the game, I think. I can't remember which one. It might have been Shattered Dimensions or something like that. But there was one of them where I don't think it was like a featured thing, but you ended up talking to her, and she was like in control of like the webs of fate, whatever.
Yeah.
But again, like in passing through the cartoons when I was a kid, absolutely, yeah.
Well, but that's what ties in with Ezekiel. So she's like in not necessarily control, but she helps with the guidance of like spider totems, which Ezekiel is one of them. It's also like fucking 90, not the 30-year-old guy using this, but. Obviously she's precognitive. She can see events that are going to happen and she can do her best to save them. Also, what would the TVA think about that? That's a different question. But through the movie, every time she had one of these events, it didn't feel like it was precognitive. It felt like it was Groundhog Day. And she was just reliving the moment rather than...
Also, like, surely at this point, we've done these sort of, like, films and things so often that we don't need to do the whole... Didn't you just ask me that? Yeah. Like, do we need to do that, like, 8 times? No, not really. Just you know, and again, it's not like, you know, the thing they did in the first Raimi Spider-Man where someone goes to punch him and everything, like, time just slows to a point of just, like, everything's moving so slowly. It's just like, cool... I get it. From a visual aspect, I understand what's going on. He can see and move quicker than the world around him by like quite a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you get it from that. Whereas from this, it was just sort of like she was sort of like seeing what was going to happen, but it was happening in the same way of something else that she was doing. So she was like doing CPR on that guy.
Yeah.
And then he was changing out to be the other guy, and then like she was covered in blood. He gets in the ambulance. He gets hit by a truck. She gets him out and starts doing chest compressions. Also, chest compression is like, why do I get the feeling that that's the only medical consultation that they got as part of the script writing for this? Just do that and then just pump. There you go, bang, save their life. Surprised the spider people didn't do that in the jungle. Because like, when she sort of when
she's training
when
the girls,
touches her and can just transfer poison to her. Sure.
Yeah.
Like, I'm assuming that like through the sort of like the needles in the hand or something, like the grippy needles.
Well, I mean, I assume that's where they were going with it, but that's the only like smart line in it when they're on about him crawling on the wall, and then the one girl is on about like the scientific, like wouldn't be able to do that because like touching it through the clothes onto the ceiling and all that stuff. But that's something that people said about Spider-Man for a long time. Like, he might be able to walk and...
How does it work?
Yeah, but he's got a leotard on. So it shouldn't work, but that's a different thing altogether. But
yeah.
I think that this could have been a better film. And not necessarily good, but better. If they'd have just focused on Cassie and her using to learn her abilities and do it in kind of like a... Because some of the stuff, like, especially when when they're in the diner... and they were told not to leave the forest, and they still did. But that first time when he comes in, and he I forgot the character name, but it's Sydney Sweeney's character, and she snaps her neck off the chair and table and stuff. If that's what we're seeing, and then her learning to use her powers in order to stop these events from happening, I think just doing that without all of the other shit that we had would have been a better film and make it a bit more. I won't say psychological, but just a bit more less superhero-y and just, I don't know, kind of gripping and thrilling would have just been better. Anything would have been better, but you know what I mean, though? Like, just completely move away from the superhero aspect of it and just make it all about her. Nothing more, nothing less.
Well, I've got another question for you. Why... Callum, why did they have to have 3 spider people?
It didn't.
In this? Callum, why did they need to have 3 spider people in this? It wasn't as if they were all linked together in the sense of they all get bitten by the same spider through various circumstances. Or... It
was to link them together where one of them lived in the same apartment building, one of them nearly got run over by her, and one of them's stepmom was at the hospital. It was just something.
Why?
There was no reason. That's the only link they have.
It's so fucking tenuous.
But you could have told the same story with one of them. And it's gone.
I thought they made a pretty decent job in like Across the Spider-Verse. Not to say that this is a part of that same thing by any stretch, but they made quite a decent thing to say like, oh, every universe has a spider person.
Yeah.
But you, Miles, you shouldn't have been. There's another person that should have been bitten. That should have been the spider person.
The canonical event.
Yeah, and here it's just like there's like 3, and then there's like a bunch in the jungle or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they count as spider people, like spider.
Well, they can still do all the because
Spider-Mans.
everyone can still do all the spider stuff, with the exception of like the tech that they've managed to build somehow. So like one of them's got like a laser web, one of them's got the iron spider arms, like the claw arms, and then the other one's got like drones or whatever. So I can only assume that the tech one, the one sort of like, yeah, science is cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it'll be.
She's just gone, I'll build all 3 of us suits and with all various powers or whatever. Really? Where's the laser coming from? What's that about? Like, you're saying that's like some sort of... I thought it was like, oh, is this like magic spiderweb or something? Like, I don't know what this is.
I honestly... and that kind of like vision dream sequence was shot so fast and jarring that it was like they just dropped the camera and left it rolling. Because it's not
there's
not
a lot
well
of this
shot.
That just... No. It looks like everything looks like it is on a set. I don't believe any aspect of the film was supposed to make me feel like it was in a real world or the real world. It just like there's nothing interesting about it. Like the spider suit for Ezekiel was not very good.
It looked better in the trailer though.
Kinda, yeah. But I just don't know if like why would you go? Oh, we've got 3 spider people, and then a Spider-Man who can do, he's do the running and the jumping, and he can like, there's like a couple of things where like he'd like flip up on the ceiling and like punch someone through a wall or whatever. That's all kind of conceptually quite interesting, but again, it doesn't really. It's not like he's like, he's like smashing people's heads through walls and stuff like that. It's just he's sort of like vaguely choke them or punch them, and then they're dead now, are they? Cool.
Well,
but why would he make the spider suit the way that it looks?
So that we think that it's Spider-Man.
but it kind of it just sort of it barely looks like the spider suit for the people in the jungle. But if he's a dangerous killer spider person, why is he wearing a suit? Why doesn't he have a gun?
I assume this was a thing.
Stand on the ceiling, drop down with a knife, stab them to death.
I've got an honest feeling that, because again in the comics Ezekiel doesn't wear. He just wears a normal business suit, and he's an old guy. But I've got a feeling that people was meant to look at the trailer and go, "Wait, is that Spider-Man?" And then that was the only purpose of the suit. Yeah, that's literally it. And by this point, obviously Peter's not born yet, so there isn't a Spider-Man per se. You got spider people in the jungle, but Spider-Man gets his idea for the costume from like a wrestler. So if this person existed and people would, they've still got cameras and stuff, and there's the news and that, at some point in his life later on, Peter would go, "Hey, do you remember that suit that guy had years ago that was on the news? I'm going to make my suit like that." And how did that fall kill him?
That is also a very good question, because he took like an ambulance to the face, like flying through. Also, can you just drive up behind a billboard? Is that a thing? You could just drive through a billboard and out the front?
You can in The Simpsons Hit and Run.
Well, maybe there's something to it then, but I'm not sure about that. But she drives an ambulance directly over him. She hits him with the car as well.
Gets electrocuted off the roof of the ambulance.
That I like that sort of like precognitive sort of like, right, get the thing ready, get it up there, 3, 2, and they're just going like, what the fuck, and just bust and just zapped him off.
Did it with the fireworks
that sort
as
of
well,
stuff.
Like duck now kind of thing.
Yeah, but again, it didn't really feel like it was a development to the, someone through a thing and you knew it was going to hit you.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, you know, when he just sort of, like, does, like, a cool little sort of, like, flip, takes the knife and just stabs her. Like, if he was to try and do that again and she was to stop it, and he'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you know, kind of, like, seeing exactly what's about to happen just before it actually happens, or sort of like a mini rewind.
Yeah.
So, you know, that the firework sort of smacks one of them, and then she's like, oh, and then she's like, oh, quick, move out the way, and then it just sort of zips past. And it'd be like living in the Matrix, basically.
Yeah.
Because you could just see that. But then she gets pushed off a roof, hit with a sign, and then smacked in the face by a firework. And now she's paralysed and blind. The power of precognition, yeah?
The best of that is when it got to the scene. So she's got under the water and stuff, and there's the explosion in the water and that.
Also, what factory was that in? The nuclear bomb factory. Like, those fireworks, like, they hit a, like...
It took a helicopter.
She just went, duck, quick! And it hit a brick wall and blew a hole in it. What fireworks can do that?
Gas, mate. Lots of gas in the building.
Was it a military... I genuinely don't remember. This is a genuine question. Was it a military ammunition stockpile or something? Because I have no idea.
Pretty sure it was just a factory. on the docks.
Like, imagine if you fired a firework that fucked up slightly and it went through your house.
Maybe it's possible. A conservatory, maybe. I wouldn't say a house, though.
Also, in 2003, what damage could fireworks possibly do 20 years ago?
Apparently enough to paralyse or blind someone without showing it in the movie.
I had no idea. Like, I saw her getting blind, or just sort of like clipped her in the face or whatever. I don't remember seeing her getting paralysed, though.
She didn't. I assume it was the bits on, you know, when she's backing up on the walkway bit, or the bridge bit with the sign, and she can see obviously she's already seen them fall precognitive.
Yeah, look at the sign more, love. I'm sure that won't give him away. That it's sort of like, yeah, it's just like, he's like, what are you looking at the sign for?
Also, I've got super strength. I can put my hand up and stop it.
That's also true, but I don't think they sort of specified that he's got the sort of spidey sense where he can just sort of like, he can see things coming.
He must have.
So he's got... Well, no, because they made it quite clear that you can get bit by a spider, but you only get like select abilities. Like, some people get the precognitive thing, but like, I imagine that like Spider-Man, in the sense of if he was bitten by that Peter Parker Spider-Man,
his was
he would have gotten. But that's the thing. That's why this one wouldn't work, because it'd be like you just get a choice of abilities. Yeah. So you'd only get the web crawling. You'd only
like
get
a Kinder egg.
Precognition to a degree, but not to that. But if she got none of the spider powers and then all of the spider precognition stuff, but then does that also mean that they can give you the power to be in control of fate? I mean, also, why can she clone herself? Or not clone, but astral project.
She can be in multiple places at the same time.
Right, okay, that is a thing then.
It is, but within the think of, you know, in Star Wars, the world between worlds. Think of that, but she's in a web, and she's going to different doors, going back through, and then just doing it lots of times.
Right, but okay.
With this, like, I see obviously what they're going with Madam Web. She's in a wheelchair. She is blind. Yada yada yada. But
here's these ridiculous sunglasses.
I mean, they were reasonably accurate, so I'll allow it. But
again, there's no context as to why she's just got these things that use up half her face.
But there's no context to how she got. Like, you can piece it together and go, she probably got paralysed in that fight, and she got blinded by the fireworks. But it doesn't say that that's what happened. It just goes from that scene to now she's paralysed and blind. You go, what?
It's like they got to the film. They go, right, we've done the action scene. Right, the boss is a spider person who fell from a not very great height and then just got smushed. Did he?
Maybe didn't. Sequel.
No, he did, because there was like 400 tons of rock that landed on him as well. But I don't understand how a spider person can fall, because again, I don't think it wasn't like they were on top of the Empire State Building.
No, they were on like docks.
400. Yeah, it was like what, 5-6 stories, something like that, maybe a bit more.
If that.
And he hit the floor with such ferocity that was enough to stun him enough to get squished by rubble. But getting hit by an ambulance, and he's like, "Oh fucking hell!"
Yeah,
oh.
walk it off. Plus,
also,
how did she fall in the water and he didn't? They're in the same place.
The shockwave pushed her. I don't know. But if you're obsessed with spiders, or you've been retrieved to get spider thing. Also, who sent him to get spider things from the jungle?
No
idea.
He was her protection.
No. I mean, he was saying, "I'm going to take this spider."
Oh yeah.
So who's he getting that for? Was it just? Oh, I've been told about this.
Yeah, he did say he'd been looking for him for so many years.
Right. Okay. Sure. So he just wants the spider for himself. But again, I don't want to nitpick too much with this because I really don't want to think about it anymore.
The whole thing's a nitpick.
But why wouldn't you just go? Oh, you got the spider. Cool. Stick your hand in it. Get bit. You've got the spider powers that you want. Like, surely you can't. It's not like it's like, oh well, the spider. You know, it's only a temporary effect, so it lasts for it. So he's like, oh shit, well I need to get one of these back home then.
Yeah.
Once you've been bitten and you've got the spider powers,
I need it.
Why do you need it anymore?
And I assume she would have said the reason why I'm here is because my unborn child has got this. She's got this disease. I need to try it. There's nothing else. And you go, cool. Yeah. That's a worthwhile thingy. And then, like you say, get bitten, heal your kid. See you later. Bye. Well, maybe not web away, obviously, but
no. But you've been with the spider people. You've seen that you've based your costume for some reason on the spider people and what they were wearing. But you go, right, I can jump really far, I can run really fast, and I'm dead strong in that. You would have thought that if you got the money and the time. Also, how did he make his fortune? Don't know. But if you've got that kind of resource that you can pay someone $1 million a day or whatever to sit in front of these TVs that I don't think should exist in 2003, with access to the NSA and every camera on the planet or whatever. Also, how the fuck did Cassie manage to fly to Peru when they already knew who she was and they weren't flagging wherever she was just in case that she led them back to the girls? Ridiculous.
Ambulance copter.
What?
A private ambulance copter.
No, you can't
I'm
fly.
joking. Again,
Peru.
there's no explanation for it.
But he's clearly got like considerable resources. So he didn't look into I can use these powers to some other way. I'm just trying to think of how he didn't come up with the webs. You're a spider powered person. You've got a spider suit. Why would you not go? Webs is a good idea. Not even just sort of like a swinging around the city kind of web, but like
a weapon,
like a something. Yeah, you can glue someone to the ground and then kill them because you're a spider assassin or whatever. Also, how useful would that have been if you could have just thrown a spider grenade into a train, webbed everybody up, and then just stabbed the ones that you needed to kill, then get the fuck out?
Probably because, and again, I don't want to defend it, but probably because he hasn't needed it.
But then why's he got a suit?
And
what does he need the suit?
Anonymity. So
balaclava. Also, he's quite good at hiding in the dark, in the shadow on the roof. Most people aren't going to be looking for an assailant in a dark corner of the room, as you would also not be looking for a spider there, but that's where they're going to be.
Best place for him.
Also, how the fuck? He's like 6 feet off the ground, crawling across the subway roof.
Yeah.
How did no one else go, what the fuck?
He's that quick. It's like Sonic.
But he's got an oracle who's tracking these women down.
Oh.
And she doesn't have like a... There's just, again, it's like... She needs to be his, girl in the chair.
Yeah.
And, sort of, to track him down. There's no sort of like even explanation of like, he kind of figures out like, oh shit, she can see that I'm coming. Oh, of course, because of all my time with the spider people, or, not the time with the spider people, but, learning about all the spider stuff and the precognition. Maybe she's got like a dead advance. That's why she always just seems to be foiling my plans at the last second. How can I try and get around that? How can I combat that? It's not. It's just ignore all of that. Kill those girls as quick as I can.
Yeah. You'd be better off just laying off until they kind of forgot about it and doing it then. Also, You've got the girl, his Oracle, and I don't know the actress's name, and I don't know the character's name, and quite frankly, I don't care. But she's sat in that chair 24/7, watching these cameras that somehow work with the very undeveloped infrastructure we had for the internet and everything.
Honestly,
back then,
I couldn't believe when it was just sort of like, quick, zoom and enhance this picture of this woman. I was just like, in 2003, you had a flip phone with a camera on it that had about 4 pixels. Like, you can't zoom in and see shit on one of those cameras. Are you kidding me?
Even like television grade cameras wouldn't have been able to do that kind of stuff back then. But
no,
she's very clearly scared of him, and so she should be. He's got these spider powers that he got from these special spiders from this Amazonian rainforest, or wherever it is. But they're also the same spiders that are in this thing right behind you. There's not
with
locked.
One slide open window.
Just stick your hand in and get powers, love.
Yeah. Like, clearly you know it works.
Yeah. And he's just nipping
or
around.
You don't believe that it works, which means that you don't believe he's got spider powers anyway.
Exactly.
I did like the bit though when he's walking through the train. He's got no shoes and socks on. I'm just like, I like that, because then they're thinking he needs bare feet in order to stick onto the roof or whatever.
But then he puts his suit on.
And then so then he could have just worn socks.
Yeah.
Or like how I want to know the specifics of how. No, because that would be like that fucking thicker rubber. But how could you how do the spikes work? How does the glue work?
They do it the same as Spider-Man though, like with Tobey Maguire, where they make the habit of like zooming in on the finger so you can see like the almost like hairs coming out.
Yeah, exactly. But do you know what hairs tend not to go through? Clothes.
Exactly. That's what I mean. They go to the effort of showing you, and then they cover it up with his suit. And his more than anyone's is at least like Tom Holland starts off with like the shitty thingy suit, but the suit that Tobey Maguire makes is like a fully fledged Hollywood, clearly not pajamas suit. Hair, them little spikes ain't coming through that.
I mean, to be fair, Tony Stark, when he built you a suit, he could have just gone, you don't even need your sticky finger things. I've just built a nano grip into this glove, so you can just do it as normal. Like, anyone could wear that and still have spider powers, because all your webs are built into it. Your strength, it's armoured and like powered, presumably. So, even if it was just a robot suit that could turn you into a spider person, that would be more believable.
I'd like it. Plus, you've still got like the spider sense thing, because you could have like cameras all over the fucking place, so you could see things coming from all angles.
Like an AI that's sort of like reading things, and like you could react to it by the computer pulling you out of the way. Yeah. So
I'd buy that
if he was just. This is a guy who was trying to get the spider powers from the spiders but couldn't get one, so had to use his wealth and resources in order to build a suit that could copy it to a degree.
Yeah. Wasn't that, though?
No. And it was also like the fact that these 3 girls, it's like, this one's shy, that one's cool and a badass, and that one's a nerd. That is the extent of their characters. They're just like, let's try and like. There was no time spent with them really. There was no real development of them. I'm not like if you're sort of like here's 3 potential spider people for 3 potential spider films. Who's everyone's favourite? I'm pretty sure everyone would say none of them.
Dicko, unborn Peter Parker.
Yeah, show me that one in 10 years, 15 years, sure. But there's like the suits are, like I say, they're classic designs, but they're done poorly. You see them for a fraction of a second, and they murder someone.
Yeah.
There's no context. It's not as if they finally were sick of his shit because he was a villain.
But he's also
the only reason that he's doing what he's doing is because they're going to kill him.
Well, but he's basing it all on a dream.
But the same dream he's had for 40 years, mate. If I saw you killing me every night for 40 years, you better believe I'd be coming for you.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. That's not to say that it's a vision or a prophecy. That just means that you've had a dream, and then you've thought about it a lot. You've gone to sleep and had the same dream because you're still thinking about it, and then you've gone, oh my God, I had the same dream that I had last night where I was murdered by these spider people, and now I'm thinking about it more. So when I get to bed, I have the same dream, and it's just that. So there's no rationale behind it. Really?
That's true. But also, as he clearly hasn't aged at all, or not much, shall we say. And he's also got the millions and the billions or whatever. And he finds out, I know where these girls live now. You know, they all seem to live within a 5-minute radius of each other. In whatever city they were in, I can't remember. Was it New York?
No, I think. I mean, it's obviously America. They do.
Oh no, it would have been because it was Nueva York, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, it was Nueva York, which is I'm pretty sure where. What's his name? Miguel. Spider-Man 2099.
Oh, so that in the future.
Yes.
Got you.
It's that city, I believe. But he's like, okay, so I've used this NSA thing that I managed to sleep with.
How did that work, though?
What?
So I've taken this information you've given me from your dreams, and it's these people. How?
Yeah. Well, because if you saw the same face every night forever, you would trace it down, or you'd be able to tweak it enough every time to be like, oh no, that's closer, that one's closer, and then they put the spider suit on them, and then stripped the spider suit away, and then figured out
2003
who they are in 2003. Because obviously, if they can do it, the government could do it, which means that anyone who's got like a part mask over their face, you should be able to figure them out like that. But they're in New York and Nueva York or whatever, and he goes, right, if I stay here, these girls are going to grow up, they're going to get spider powers, and they're going to kill me by throwing me out of a building or whatever. So I'll move.
Yeah.
So in order for that dream to come true and be a vision, then he needs to be at that place in order for them to kill him. For whatever reason it is that they decide to kill him. I don't know still. But you go, well, I'm a insanely rich billionaire.
I can live anywhere.
Or whatever.
I'm going to live on the moon.
But then if he goes, well, I'm going to live on the moon then, does that mean his visions are going to change to him being killed by these 3 spider people again on the moon?
But the more likelihood is that they kill him because they're fighting him. Rather than, I don't think they've gone, right, we need to go murder this guy. I think they're just in a fight because he's done something bad.
But he's not in his Spidey suit, which means that they've just jumped him at home or something and thrown him out the window.
But he's just not got his suit anymore. It's in the dry cleaners, and he was stealing something. I don't know. But what I'm saying is the likelihood is they're not. A, it's just a dream, not rather than a prophecy. But
yeah.
Just to go back to the previous point, though, it would have made more sense and been better storytelling if he just saw them. And he was like, wait, they're the ones from the dream.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to do it. Like, you can't... In 2003, you could barely... Like, Google didn't work properly in 2003. Never mind this kind of stuff.
I don't think Google existed in 2003, did it?
I assume it existed, not in the way that we know it now, but it must have existed. Must have. Let's have a look.
2003? I don't know. That seems a bit early. Like, maybe the company existed, but, like... It would have been, yeah...
Yeah, 1998.
98, yeah, okay. But yeah, I just don't see that, like, this... You can just hack into the NSA. And then, so what, an NSA... Someone who's, like, high up in the NSA gets poisoned to death, and they don't change her, like, access codes or something?
What, she just got them with her anyway? Why she just got everything with her anyway?
Well, no, because she gives him, like, a passphrase or something like that, which is what she needs... But I suppose if they built, like, a backdoor in, like, if they changed her access codes, they could still have access or something.
I suppose.
Oh, Callum, there's just nothing I like about this at all.
Did you like...
No, what did I just say?
Did you like that there wasn't a post-credit scene?
Yes. Because then I'm just like, oh, thank fuck. At least they had the common sense and the good foresight to go, we're never going to get a sequel to this. Fuck me.
But no, there's nothing good.
No, there's not. There's just not. Like, I'd like to just, like, if they'd have just had, like, a sort of, like, a mother-daughter relationship they kind of built between, like... But if you'd got just one of them that has also been entered into the foster system or whatever, and then, you know, she's sort of like, well, I hate kids, but you're all right because you're going to be a spider person or something, maybe? But at that point, she hasn't seen it either, so she doesn't know that they're going to be a spider person, do they?
Well, but she hasn't seen it. She's only taking it off what he said. So if he said they all turn into Transformers, then she'd go, in the future, you guys all turn into Transformers.
Because he's seen the vision of them in the spider suits, therefore having spider powers. But I don't think she saw them.
No, that's what I'm saying. He tells her, he tells Cassie why he's doing it, and just walk away. You don't need to get involved. You won't get hurt. Blah blah blah. But it doesn't make sense that the good guys, so they wouldn't just go out and straight up murder him. That's what the viewer's always led to believe a good guy won't do. And then the lead protagonist in this movie is basing everything purely on what the protagonist is telling her. Could have been lying.
He could have been.
Like, she doesn't know.
It's not exactly a vision of the future then, if it doesn't come true.
No. But
because he's always seen himself being killed by being thrown out of a window by these 3 spider people. But then that doesn't come... so him trying to kill them and stopping them eventually leads to that vision becoming true. Yeah. So by him trying to kill them, they end up meeting Cassie because she's destined to save all 3 of them and become, the master of the webs of fate or whatever. So she ends up taking them to Peru to learn about the spider thing that he's got, that her mom had. They all end up getting bit. They all end up getting cool suits. And then with him trying desperately still to kill them, they end up inadvertently killing him. Therefore, his vision, being a prophecy, would then come true. With him trying to stop it, he creates it. But he's not killed by 3 spider people. He's killed by someone who presumably, if that's not a vision of the actual future, someone that was never meant to exist.
That's what she says, though. She says, forgot the actual line, but it's not them. The vision was telling you about it was me. Some bullshit like that. No, because it was an accident. What happened on the bridge thing was an accident, and she didn't plan for any of it. I wish she did. But then, we as the viewer wasn't shown that.
But his vision wasn't changing to say like, oh, well, like a Rick and Morty thing. Like, remember that crystal that it can stick on the head and it tells you how you're going to die? It's not like it's that changing every... It's like, for 20 years, it's always been the same thing. These 3 spider people push me out of a window, and then as soon as the spider bites... as soon as she's born, or as soon as she goes in the river and has her power awakening or whatever, then all of a sudden his visions change. So whilst she's precogniting how he's killing them and fighting off his thing with her power, his vision is changing of okay, well, they were going to kill me on top of this roof, but now they're not going to kill me on top of the roof. Now I'm going to die in the river. So I need to stay clear of the river. But she's do you know what I mean? So they're trying to out precognition each other.
Well, what if that's the curse?
But the curse isn't anything.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's just
what if it's just he's it's just paranoia. That's the curse.
But that would be fine. But again, it would be melding and adapting to the situation he's in, rather than just ignore the woman who can somehow keep foiling your plans inexplicably. You're still going to get killed by falling out of a window.
Why don't you just stop doing bad things?
Also, if you think that that's what's going to happen, make sure all your windows are bulletproof, completely in place. Don't have windows, maybe. Everywhere you go, make sure you don't have windows in your house, in your office, or whatever.
It's just not well thought out, and it's a shame because I've got a feeling that I can't see Dakota Johnson wanting to come back in any superhero movie, let alone a sequel to this. I think it's a waste of Adam Scott. I like him in pretty much everything he's been in. The girls and I'm not too. I know Sydney Sweeney's. She's been in a lot of stuff like Euphoria and stuff like that, but for the most part they're fine. But they don't do anything, and the 3 of them together don't do anything that one of them couldn't have done on their own. And it's less messy. It gives you that mother-daughter dynamic. Not Last of Us, but you've got your strong, assertive lead person that doesn't want anything to do with the kids and just wants to offload them and stuff, and then they learn to love each other and care for each other, yada yada yada. It's already a better movie.
Like Despicable Me.
Just like Despicable Me. It's just not. It's not good, and unlike Morbius and the upcoming Craven and Venom, all of those films have at least a handful of moments where you go, I see what they were trying to do. This doesn't.
No.
It's not well shot. It's not well written. It's not well planned. It's just bad. I'd honestly say this is probably the worst comic book movie I've ever watched. I mean, I've seen some stinkers.
We haven't watched every comic book movie
that I've ever seen.
Ones from the 90s or whatever, like in the 90s or whatever. But I don't think I just don't think there's any element of it. Like, I could have been doing something else whilst this was on.
I wish I
wouldn't
was.
have missed anything. Like, if I'd have just had it on and just been playing a game or something like that, or if I'd, like, on my phone, I mean, like, much to the chagrin of everyone else around
That's
me.
what
But
everyone was
actually,
doing.
no, they'd have been doing the same thing. But if I was doing something else, and I don't think I would have missed anything, because I'd be like, he's coming in to kill him. Oh, she stopped him. Okay, cool. That it's just that it's a series of just events that happen to get you to the end of the film. There's nothing about it. There's not a single person in there that I want to see again. Like character wise,
yeah.
I mean. You had 3 spider people, and you didn't do anything with it. You didn't even Gotham it and just go, oh well, this one's been working on web design, or like this one. Other than just sort of saying, science is cool.
It's not.
That's it. That's the nerd one, is it? And then, this one flipped off an ambulance. Who would flip off an ambulance anyway?
Someone cool.
The only person that you'd flip off would be the police.
Yeah.
And if you flip off the police, that's probably the worst thing you could do, because then they'd pull you over.
Yeah.
And just be like,
You did.
turf your pockets out. And then the other one is just sort of like, my mom died, so I'm sort of like stuck with my stepdad, so I'm running away. Really? Like they just like every excuse, like they're sort of like, oh my god, and we just happen to be together at the same thing. It's so fucking forced. Like they all just had to be on that train. You could have just had one of them and just tried to make some kind of relationship.
So it would have been way better.
She just wants to see them die. But then she's like, hey, partner from work, as we get all involved in each other's families or whatever.
Look after these kids.
Can you take care of these 3 kids for a week while I go to Peru to research my mum's old books on spider people? And he's like, sure. I don't have to go to work.
I've got to go to work. My sister's about to give birth.
So I don't have to worry about that. I don't have a life of my own. Sure, I'll just take over these 3 random teenagers. Oh, are these all related to you? No, I met them yesterday. Cool.
But he even says though, when she's like really sorry about this. He's like, yeah, you didn't choose any of this. Any of what? Has she explained everything to you? Do you know what's going on?
Because if I've got a feeling that if she was like, I can kind of see the future, but I can't control it yet, he would have been like, sure, hello, psych ward. Yeah, can you get down here quick, shot? She hasn't. Because again, this is not a world where it's like, oh, you can see the future. Oh, like all the X-Men.
Yeah.
Or oh my god, like all the superheroes. You could do that sort of stuff. That's cool. I'm going to hold up a number behind my back. What is it for? Oh my god, you got it. It's just completely taken on faith that, like, I know that you've seen on the news in the Daily Bugle or whatever that I kidnapped these kids. I definitely didn't, but I need to leave the country. Can they stay with you for a week? And you're like, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, definitely.
Shall we swing by the police station on the way to the airport, though? Just so the girls can tell the police they haven't been abducted.
Also, if there is a somehow fucking nationwide manhunt for this person who's abducted 3 girls, how did she get through an airport?
Exactly.
Because presumably in 2003, they've still had their 9/11.
Of course they did.
Which means that airport security is absolutely tighter than it's ever been ever. With people like, oh, by the way, if you need to, if anyone who's coming through, make sure you're looking for these individuals. This one's suspected terrorist. This one's suspected. But again, we didn't see her like fucking Fahrenheit, like just sort of like knowing exactly where all the cameras are going to be and just kind of like doing that.
That's a really good point. That's the kind they should have based it on that.
Like you just trust in the force basically. Just go, I can get through here without anyone clocking me because there'll be a like there's a security team up there, there's a camera over there, I can just follow this down, and like you could just see it all unwinding in your own head, like as she's kind of like getting used to it. But instead, she manages to get to a little island in a little place in Peru,
and back,
and no one clocks her, really.
And she manages to steal a taxi and
yet,
an ambulance.
Adam Scott manages to get he nicks a taxi or whatever, or they, again, no one reported the taxi stolen. No one's going around just going, why is there a taxi over there? Oh, that license plate, yeah, that was nicked.
That's the other thing. When she pulls up at the house, when he's taken her, but she goes to the taxi, and she's got the wrench or whatever she's got, and pops the number plate off. She just leaves it on the floor next to it.
She did do that. No, you're quite right. I'd forgotten about that. But then that also means that she rolled up at Adam Scott's house saying, in this stolen taxi is 3 children that were apparently abducted. I'm going to leave the country for a week. Can they stay with you?
Yeah.
Your first thing would be like, no, because I don't want anyone to come along and think that I've abducted these kids and I get immediately arrested.
Well, that's the other thing they're great when they get in the car, like, just keep your head down. Why didn't they just stay at the house for starters? They've learned by now.
What was he going out for?
Hospital.
Oh, it's
she was giving birth.
Yeah. Also, if you go, nerd girl in the back goes, they can track phones, and she's like, yep, that's right, whip it out the window, smart, very good. But then if you know that they can track phones and that you've got someone who's tracking you, why wouldn't you go, right, everyone, hoods up, get in the car, stay down? Because just on the off chance that we go past a traffic camera or something like that will clock your face.
It's the exact thing that happened. But she's just gawking out the window in the front.
Also, it was like going past like a supermarket or something like that, and it manages to get like a full HD version colour photograph of her face that can get run through this system. Absolutely not.
If they had this kind of technology back then, there would be no terrorist acts.
Yeah, if you could just spot someone driving past, in motion, in the dark, fucking nonsense. I hated this film. That's right. I watched Morbius, and I hate that film. Like, that is it's absolutely like a poorly written, poorly made. Everything about it it's like a cash grab film. Just like, it's from Spider. It's all superheroes. Make $1 billion. Just make $1 billion. Just get it out. They'll just go and eat it up. What do you mean they don't like it?
Why don't they like it?
I just get the feeling that this is the same. They've just gone, I don't understand. We did Spider People, and we got women to be in it as well. So how's it not making $1 billion?
But Morbius, at the very least, had a start, a middle, and end. It had the most tiniest amount of structure to a movie that you could possibly have, but it had it. This had none of that.
I enjoyed neither of them.
No, neither.
But I liked this one rather over that. I would watch this one again before I watched Morbius, and I no intention of watching this again.
I would.
I genuinely, I can't remember. I think I messaged you after I'd watched it. I was like, Callum, I hate this movie. I hated everything about it. I'm going to even find the message, because, my lord, I could not get over how much I just despise, like, in my soul, I couldn't enjoy any element of it. I still don't really understand why.
I think I love it that you don't like Jared Leto, but the Morbius.
No, I never said that.
Joking. It's just not good. And until I watched this, I would have said that was one of the worst comic book movies I've ever watched. But this definitely tops it. I think Morbius is a better movie than this is. And that's not a compliment to Morbius in any sense of the fucking word.
So I found it. This is in November 2022. So I can't remember why I started watching it, but I did. And I've just messaged you just saying, can Morbius the Living Vampire change in and out of his form? I always thought he was in vampire form. What shit show. That was utter horse piss. Even Michael Keaton isn't enough to save that.
Yeah.
I thought I must have just ranted at you on a podcast.
Yeah, we definitely talked about it after, but
yeah, I mean, I came out of that just going, God, I'm so glad that I didn't have to go with someone to see that, because I would have been a nightmare that whole evening.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, how fucking dare they? What an absolute piece of toss. That, like, Madam Webb, it's not like it's trying to be anything more than it is. I feel that they just absolutely scraped by on whatever they needed to tick whatever boxes they needed to in order to get it out the door.
I've got a feeling that in X amount of years' time, this is going to be a proper cult favourite.
On what grounds?
There's no reason for it. I've just got a feeling.
It's not like, oh my god, it's so bad, it's funny. It's not funny. There's no jokes in it. It's not dark. It's not twisted. It's not like a unique take on something. There's nothing about it. It's like a Birds of Prey episode. That's what it is.
It's not even that good.
Like they got the terrible costumes, and then at the end it's just like, oh, and then all of fate, and I can see all of fate or whatever. And then she's got the ridiculous glasses on. It's like piss poor costume that she's starting to wear. And I'm just like, God, did you do this in 10 minutes? And you just went, oh, we need to get her into the fucking outfit now. Like we've paralysed her and blinded her in 30 seconds. And now we need to remember, you know how people get their abilities. It's like a long drawn out process, and then the costume isn't something that they typically just get.
No,
they would, they would just appear in it all of a sudden. It's usually it's a badge. You've earned it, and then at the end of the movie, that's when you get your cool reveal because they've gone through various iterations, or it's like molded around you, or it's a nano whatever, and then that's it. You've got your cool guy costume, and everyone's like, oh wow, that's so cool. Like this is just like. Spider suit.
But I've got a feeling that was the post-credit scene.
Dog shit.
Just to show you it's so far in the future. I'd have been more happy if the end of this film was her waking up after Ben's got her out of the water. And all of this was just what's gone on in her head.
I would have preferred that, yeah. I can tell you what, though. So Craven's the next one, and then Venom 3, I think, is the one after that in terms of the Sonyverse. Yeah. There is no way that Craven is worse than this.
No, but do you think Craven is going to be Venom good?
Venom isn't good.
This is what I'm saying. But out of the Sonyverse movies, Venom's the best one. Venom 1, not Venom 2, because that's even worse. I want to go on record because I don't think I'd say it enough. I fucking hate Tom Hardy's Venom movies. They're not good. They're absolutely awful, and I despise that they are so popular. I hate it.
But it's because it's him.
Yeah, but compared to this, that's MCU level good.
It is better. Yeah, like the first one is better. Like the the relationship between him and Venom. Like that's kind of what you're there for, and then they just went, and here's just a baddie, and it's the same as him, and yeah, he wins. Great. But just the. But the fact that Craven is he's like Far Cry Primal, basically. Like he's just got mad jungle powers because the lion bled in him. Magic lion, is it?
Why?
If they say it's a magic lion god or whatever that he had to try and shoot with Russell Crowe, and then it bled in him. Now he's a lion, or he's got like a communication with the animal. So he's Aquaman, is he?
Basically, on land, landman.
But he's always been a hunter. He doesn't work with animals. He's a hunter. He kills them all. Like he's trying to, kill his way up the food chain as much as he can until he gets to his ultimate prey, which is
Spider-Man.
Exactly. And I was reading up on this the other day because, I genuinely didn't watch the trailer until I told you about it. Until you reminded me to yesterday. And I was just like, I'm gonna, I've dealt with Craven a lot in sort of games and stuff
real
like
world.
That. He's never been sort of running around the walls and doing all that kind of stuff that I saw in the trailer. But that could just be me. The Blade thing. It's is that just sort of is that artistic license, or is this the most faithful representation? Yeah. And when I was reading about him, he's basically a witcher.
Yeah, he has plants and berries and things that
yeah, like a witcher does. Yeah. That gives you buffs and stuff like that. So it makes him strong. It makes him resistant to damage and whatever, and makes him But does he have the soul of a lion or whatever?
No.
Or is he because the way that they're kind of selling this in the trailers is he's like the. Oh, you're coming into my jungle and poaching my animals. And it's you're not fucking Tarzan, man. You're supposed to be
He's a big
an absolute
game hunter.
maniac. Yeah. Like he's supposed to be like the absolute best hunter in the world.
Like Russell Crowe is in the trailer.
Shoot him! Just shout him! That lion that's 4 feet in front of you.
Well, no, but
people
I mean, like,
who do not go hunting lions don't do it standing up in front of them.
But what I mean is, you got the big burly Russell Crowe who's putting on a Russian accent, who's murdering animals and being a hunter. Why isn't he Craven?
Nah, I don't see it.
But you see Aaron Taylor Johnson as Craven.
No, I don't see either of them.
I think Russell Crowe would be a much better Craven.
I think he's too old at this point anyway. And plus,
that'll be the reason.
What
obviously,
what do you want me to do? You want me to get into shape and fuck off?
But exactly, don't do the film then.
Well, there's many reasons that they shouldn't do the film. But yeah, that all that film is going to be, it's going to be build up, and then it's going to be post credit Venom.
Yeah.
He's coming after Venom, or Venom's just like, oh well, don't hunt me. I've got this animal problem. That's whatever.
Animal problem.
And it's a Spider-Man, and it's just going to be someone in a spider suit.
Possibly, yeah.
They're not going to talk. It probably won't be Tom Holland.
Could be Ezekiel.
It'll just be. No, it could be any of them. But this universe that they're trying to make is falling apart so hard. Like, they're just absolutely scrabbling to try and get something together that's actually going to sell. Which is why I think that you get Emma Roberts. What a waste. Great actress. She's in this for 30 seconds.
Most of that cast
absolutely
is
wasted. Absolute waste.
This smells of Fantastic Four syndrome, where they've got to release it in order to just keep the license going.
But it feels like it's having the opposite effect. Like, the more that they do, the more that they try and make this work, the more they're driving the price down. And Disney's going to go, we'll give you 50 million and we'll take it off your hands. And they're like, oh fucking hell, finally, just get rid. Like, we can't make anything. Like, if this has lost money, and if
clearly
Aaron Taylor Johnson, I think he's quite good. Have you seen Bullet Train?
Yeah,
he's pretty good.
I like him in that.
Yeah,
got
agreed.
a nice mustache.
No, I don't.
I love the mustache. He's cut the
I like it when he jumps on the back of a bullet train and punches through a window. I was like,
it's good.
That's cool.
It's a good film, that is. I was disappointed with it at the same time.
It wasn't amazing, but it was, again, it's like a... Oh, God, that is like the new standard for low at the moment, isn't it? Or I don't know if it's so like they're trying to get to something better, and they're just sort of like just wheeling it out, just so it's done. Because it doesn't even look like they just spent any effort on, there's no cool like spider effects, or it's not like
CGI
we've got like,
very
this
bad.
Is like, especially at the start when when Cassie's mom gets shot and then that spider person sort of like jumps between the tree branches. And I was like,
it's not good.
Did anyone watch this back? It felt like it took, like, they got someone at crunch time and said, oh, can you just put this quick leap thing together? You've got until the end of the day. And they went, maybe, but it'll look shit.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. The camera's going to be like this anyway.
Yeah, but that's what, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like an old 90s, like, Buffy, like, Birds of Prey, Smallville, just sort of like to cover up the fight scenes that we can't really have. And like the CG where it's just sort of like, instead of seeing like someone sort of like bouncing around a room, like flipping around and doing a cool flip or whatever, we'll just cut the camera and just pretend that they did.
There's
that's how it feels.
It was either the director or the producer. I honestly can't. It was the director. So it was S.J. Clarkson, and they've gone on. They've made Madam Web, it's Marvel, a Sony Marvel movie. Her past history was Doctors. The BBC drama.
Oh yeah, wasn't James McAvoy in that?
Probably.
No, not James McAvoy. No, because I auditioned when I was a kid. I auditioned for Doctors.
Could be that. I don't know. 2001 to 4.
Yeah, it would have been when I was at stage school. There was like some bit part in an episode of Doctors, which was like, think Casualty, think ER.
You could have been in Madam Web.
Thank fucking Christ, my life worked out differently.
Well,
so she's done Doctors.
She's done Doctors. You're going to see where I'm going with this, Dan. Casualty. EastEnders. Footballers' Wives. Bad Girls. Hustle. Life on Mars. which is actually pretty good. I did like Life on Mars. Heroes. Remember Heroes? Dexter. Ugly Betty. She did 2 episodes of Banshee. Excellent show. Anti-Star. Basically, Orange is the New Black. Jessica Jones, she did 2 episodes of that. And then recently she's done Succession. No movies are in there, Dan.
This does, but do you know what I mean with like the sort of the 90s TV show vibes? Like,
that's what I mean, yeah.
It feels like it is a TV show that only has the budget for 1 episode where everyone gets their cool outfits and does a flip and a punch. Yeah. Not to say that it needs to be, some huge action-packed blockbuster. And the half of the city's exploding, we've got 50 spider people all zipping around or whatever.
It does if that's what you're advertising it as.
But no, that's the thing. I think they've just done it quite cleverly well. They've just said, right, all the cool stuff, we'll put all of that in the trailer, we'll get people to come in and see it. And then when they go and see it, they go, was that it? Like, there's a bit where he gets hit by a car, and then they do another thing where he gets hit by an ambulance. Because again, she can't fight him, which makes sense. But then, if he's got the spider powers of a spider person, he should have done a jump, or he should have stopped it.
Things done.
Like, he shouldn't have fallen off a fucking building, and just that was enough to wipe him out, was it? And then get squished by a thing. Again, you're a spider person, catch it.
That's what
you got the reflexes of a spider. Like, what the fuck?
There's no thought has gone into this, and it's
you can't dodge bullets and just sort of zip around cops that are trying to shoot you, or whatever, and then get hit by a big brick or a car. Mental.
And somehow land on the only bit that wasn't water.
I'm still gonna. I can't remember, but I'm gonna say that they fell off different sides of that building. I can't remember how she ends up in the water. I think it was she was on the side and then it fell over.
Just fell.
So she went further. If he was on the roof and he fell off the roof,
no, he was where she was.
She went off
because that's where he falls. Because it's when he's walking to her, and she's waiting for the letters to hit him.
You're absolutely right.
They're in the exact same.
He's right
bit.
In front of her.
Yeah.
Because remember, the only person who has a character trait that actually pays off. So the science girl doesn't do any cool hacking or whatever. And the shy girl, she kind of comes out of a shell by getting on a table and dancing in front of boys.
Yeah.
That's your character arc, is it? She comes out of a shell by dancing on a table for boys in a diner. Boys that you don't know. Cool. Great message, everyone. Yeah. Thanks. So the science girl, she doesn't get anything other than just we can assume that she's built the spider suits in the future.
Maybe. And
then the badass who's got the skateboard, she skates down a bit of metal on a thing.
That's it.
Cool. I'm glad you introduced that incredible skill set for her to use once, and then immediately fall off and have to hang on to a thing and to get caught saved by a ghost woman. Even if it got to a point where if they was okay, well, all 3 of them are hanging off the edge of the building simultaneously. What are the odds of that again?
Shocker.
And then she has to make the choice of which one to save. And she's like, oh, do I save the nerdy one because she's going to create the science that's going to help make cancer irrelevant or way easier to treat? Do I save the one with the heart of gold, that is abandoned by a family because, I can relate
that's
more to
just
her?
Like me,
do I save the shy one because she's got far more potential in, being a better person and a better hero because of whatever? And she's got to make the choice, seeing out in the webs of fate, if which one dies, then
who's the best one to save?
Yeah, and kind of you get to know these girls, you get to like them, she gets to trust them, she teaches them CPR. Also, CPR is not as effective as it's made out to be in this movie. It's also not that fucking easy to teach. And then they have this sort of it's the Spider-Man, choose one, one will die or one will whatever. And then she goes, no, I'll save all 3 of them instead. I don't I prefer that, we see 3, we get to know 3, we didn't, but we get to know all 3 of them, everyone has their own favourite. Yeah. And then she's like, I'll save this one. Because if they do fall from this height, it will kill them because they're not spider people. Whereas this dude, if he does, because then he gets what he wants, because then he says okay, cool. In order for that vision to come through, all 3 of them need to be alive to kill me. But if 2 of them are dead, vision's over, I'm out. And then she has to raise a kid now, who will eventually maybe not get spider powers.
But she also might then learn to be, not learn, but grow to be more resentment, and she's like, "You killed
Sorry,
my
only immediate family in this room. Oh, they're all mine. No, they're not. They're still all missing and like listed with the police as being missing. Fuck me, Callum.
I really liked the credits. Honestly, I've spent all day trying to think of things that I've genuinely really liked.
There was a bit when Ezekiel did like a knife flip and then stabbed her with a knife. Like, and I was like, oh, that was a kind of cool little whap. Got you.
No, that didn't fly for me.
But there's a bit. I tell you what, there's a bit where he's like running across the side of the building and sort of does like a flip around.
Oh, when he's talking on the earpiece thing.
Yeah. Also, run across the top. If you're going round it, why would you? Is that the most efficient way? I don't believe so, but whatever.
When I got home, I played about 2 hours worth of Spider-Man 2. And I didn't do anything. I've already completed it. I was just swinging around, doing just the crimes that are appearing and stuff. And those 2 hours was a better movie of just swinging around and just not doing anything. It's not well made. And it's not as poorly put together as Fan 4 Stick.
Yeah, that's
just an absolute mess. But that's a better film.
No,
it's not.
No,
I'm very harsh on this, and I still think it's one of the worst comic book movies I've ever watched. And I've watched Nick Fury with everyone's favourite Hasselhoff, and that's a bad film. I've also seen,
but that doesn't have any excuse.
No,
sorry, that has an excuse. That was made in like 1996. Yeah, but
it's still got a plot.
No, but I mean,
they
didn't really know any better back then. You know, they just sort of went, "Oh, Nick Fury's Hasselhoff. We can get him, stick an eye patch, it's guns and Hydra or whatever." In 2024, well, 2024,
yeah,
it came. When did it come out?
Like
last week, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, in 2024, people know. Even if you copy it beat for beat, they know how to make a superhero movie that sells. And this couldn't have been further from it. And that's why I think that everyone involved has got a bit of a bum deal here. Like the director, and they're just like, hey, do you want your first directorial debut of a movie to be with a character that no one outside of comic book nerds will know, and the only people who would know who it is will hate this because it's nothing to do with it. And you've got to sort of like slap all this stuff together. You've got no budget. Even if you did, you know, like again, absolutely no disrespect to us whatsoever, but there's a difference between, you know, like making a couple of episodes of a TV show that's got like an approved budget by a network or whoever, and like 80 million. So what's a standard sort of, you know, Venom wouldn't have been 80 million, would it? That'd have been like 150 million or something like that. So here's 150 million that you need to work with your production team in order to make a film that's got all of this stuff in it. It just seems like she's just been stuck with a project that's like it's a big break for her. So you would, of course, you take it and you give it your best, but you don't have the background to kind of make something that's going to make that money back.
Well, this had a budget of 80 million and made 80 and made 51 million at the box office. Venom had a budget of 100.
Okay.
And it made 856.
Now that is the distance that Tom Hardy will take you. That's why you get him.
That Morbius.
£53.60, I think, is the budget for Morbius.
No, 75 million. And it made 167.5.
Well, that's the thing. That's the star power difference between Jared Leto and Tom Hardy. Because Morbius has more, like, it's primarily like almost like an entirely CG thing. You know, it's a big vampire mist that's
so's Venom, to be fair.
Yeah. But there's CG, there's like money that's like can go into like making special effects that look decent. They don't, but it could have. Whereas this, there's not really any special effects. There's a bit of sort of like camera trickery with like, you know, people walking at walls and stuff. But other than that, there's like one explosion, maybe two is a truck crash, which could have been CG. I can't remember.
You know what they should have used as an example, or not an example. As
also, why did they get that guy get smashed in the ambulance, got out of the ambulance, and then his chest was covered in blood for our hands to be covered in blood? How?
That's a good point, actually.
Doesn't matter. Carry on.
What happened there?
I don't care.
You know what show they should have used as a blueprint for this film in terms of style?
Go on.
Legion.
Ooh. Yeah, that would.
I think that would have been genuinely very entertaining.
Stuck in an asylum, like you know what's going to happen, but you can't prove it. No one believes you. You know, are you actually going insane or whatever? Yeah, because I don't know in the terms of the character of Madam Webb. Was she a paramedic who was?
I know. All I know is she's already an old woman.
I'm going to have a little look, Callum, and just see, because we may be doing this film an entire disservice. I'll look past 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yikes!
I mean, it's 13% critic. Audience will give it 55.
That is incredibly fucking generous.
I did see I saw a meme earlier though with Thanos. He's talking to I think it's from Infinity War or Endgame. I can't remember which one it's from now. He's like, but it's on about to the Marvels after watching Madam Web. He's like, maybe I was too harsh on you.
I mean, yeah. If anything, that looks good. It's a solid. You know, it's far too many people that you end up also not caring about. But you know, there's some funny bits in it. There's a bit of interest to it. You know, it's okay.
Marvels is a lot better.
So, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, again, I enjoyed it more than you, but we both infinitely enjoyed that more than this. 100%. So, Cassandra Webb, born in Salem, Oregon. She's a paralyzed, blind, telepathic, she wasn't telepathic, clairvoyant and precognitive mutant. Also, not a mutant. She'd have been a mutate. Presumably. Well,
no, because she's born with it. Because maybe she's Maybelline.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Maybe you could reasonably... she was stricken with myasthenia gravis, which is a long-term neuromuscular junction disease which leads to skeletal muscle weakness. Affected muscles are those of the eyes, face, and swallowing. And is connected to a life support system. Spider-Man, blah blah blah. Obviously, again, Spider-Man is very much connected to her. Powers and abilities. So she's a mutant who possesses psychic abilities. She can use telepathy to read the minds of others. That wasn't in there. She has the ability to see the future. Again, kind of. She couldn't really control it per se. Madam Webb can project an astral form of herself away from a physical body, which again, an astral projection, that doesn't mean that you can physically interact with the world. No,
but again, it'll depend on the writer for that kind of thing.
She can perform psychic surgery on the minds of others. That's cool. She's sensitive to psychic energies, allowing her to sense the presence of psionic powers in others, to see the area surrounding her and events that take. She's also very smart as well. When dying, she's displayed the ability to transfer her mutation into another individual, so she could give someone else her abilities. But yeah, there's nothing on here. I'm purely going off Wikipedia here, obviously, which doesn't really count to anything, but it doesn't really specify how she grew up.
I only know her from the cartoon and the TV show, and I've never really paid that much. She's popped up in like a lot of Spider-Man arcs, but I've never felt the need to go research. I should.
Yeah, but either way, it seems that the backstory that they've created for this film, at least from the very brief read that I just had, it feels like they've kind of just made that up. Which, again, if there's not really a backstory to work
that's
with,
what they've done for all of them,
you want to.
They've changed Venom's backstory, they've changed Morbius's backstory. It's very clear they've changed Craven's backstory. They've changed Adam Webb's backstory.
But why would they need to change the backstory of all those people? What's the one thing that all of them connect? Well, maybe not Morbius, but...
Yeah. He's no,
Morbius isn't connected to Spider-Man, is he?
Yes, he is. He dates MJ for a long time.
No, I don't mean like his creation of him being who he is.
Oh, no, he's not directly related to him, but he's a villain of Spider-Man for a fair while before he becomes an anti-hero.
He's a bit of a Mr. Freeze kind of character, though, isn't he? He's just sort of like I'll do villainous things to get whatever I need, but you know, I'm not robbing banks for the sake of it. I think I could be happy if I never spoke about this movie again.
I mean, it'll definitely get brought up again.
Of course it will, because this is the new lowest standard.
Is this the new fan 4 stick?
Like, I genuinely hope that everyone who's worked on this gets to have another crack at, like, not at this. Like, no one should ever touch this property again. But, you know, they go, it's fine, you know, it was a rush job or whatever the problem is. Like, there'll be essays written about what the fuck happened here. Like, there are with Fan 4 Stick.
Dakota Johnson had already said that the film she signed up for, the script wasn't, was a completely different script that she signed up for.
Yeah, it's studio interference. It's always like anything like this when it gets absolutely obliterated. It's because the studios get involved. Yeah. They don't trust directive vision, and they don't trust the people that they hire to make these things.
Look what happens when they don't get involved, and you get Across and Into the Spider-Verse. Like, two of the best of all time superhero / comic book movies.
They are, without a doubt, the best Spider-Man properties.
Yeah.
Like feature-length Spider properties. They are the best, without a doubt. But then even when you're holding it up to, you know, what the MCU and Warner Brothers and whoever else have been churning out over the years, it's probably better than and more enjoyable and more faithful. And I would go, God, give me 50 of these, please, if you can keep it to this quality.
Yeah. They're excellent. And I assume there's only no studio interference because it's animated.
Yeah, and they go, you know, you come up with it's an animated film. No one really cares about them anyway.
Exactly.
So, write whatever you want, draw it however you want, and people have gone, oh, cool, you're just going to give us a budget and leave us alone. Yeah. And we can kind of come up with a project that we're really keen on and we can pour our hearts and souls into. Yeah. Sure. Then that's the result you get. Because that isn't going to be a studio-driven experience that's like, oh, we've laid all of this out exactly how it needs to be, the Spider-Verse thing. And you just need to just animate all of this stuff that we've done. No, they would have said, this is your budget, don't go over it, and have a crack, see what you come up with. We need a placeholder until we can get Spider-Man rights back to do another Spider thing. I pretty much guarantee that like they had no idea it was going to be as successful as it is.
I don't think anyone did, me included. Like, the Sony have just not got a good track record. But again, equally, the Spider-Man 1 and 2 on PlayStation, the story to that's fucking excellent. They've got really good writers for that, and they've got the ability to use these people. And I've never directed an animation or a feature length movie.
Oh, but, come on, don't be too long.
I mean, I've done animations, but not to the same extent. But if they can direct, produce, and write some of the best superhero movies of all time, let's be like realistic, maybe not the best, but definitely up there. Why don't you use the same people to guide the live action stuff? Not necessarily make
Probably
it,
because
but to prove show guidance and give thoughts and critique.
I don't think they'd want to.
Maybe not, but
because they'd say no, not the studios, the
people
involved.
Yeah,
they said, hey, do you want to do a piss poor job of this because we rush you? And they go, no.
But with they go, it's just all yours. Because
that's the thing.
And
I
they wouldn't
reckon
do
that
it.
Most people, they go, no, because whatever I say, you're going to change anyway. Like it's like saying you're getting a professional consultant. So like whenever they do like a war movie or whatever, and they get like a military historian to come in and kind of consult and say, well, technically no, this didn't work like this, or no, those didn't exist in this time period or whatever. And then you go, cool, thanks for all the help. ignore all of that, give them all bazookas
give them
and lasers.
lasers.
And then the consultant will be like, why did you ask me if you're not going to keep me in the... If you're not going to listen and kind of pay attention and do stuff with it, with what I'm telling you, then why the fuck am I here?
Why do you think they binned... Not Sony, but why do you think they binned the Batgirl movie, but they didn't bin this?
Because
there has to be a reason.
That's DC and this is Sony.
No. That's why I'm saying not Sony, but why do you think...
I think that they thought that they were going to make something like this. Maybe not that bad, but they went, do you know what? We don't have faith that, like, we're losing stock with people as it is. We would rather bin it off than release it. And, it's too much of a punt for them to take for it to work. So they just went, we'd rather cut our losses, bin that off. And if anything, from a marketing point of view, I suppose, if they bin it off and they say, we were doing a Batgirl movie and it was going to be a black woman who was Batgirl, and we've decided to cancel the project, they can have the public scream and scream and scream
a la Snyder
and make them make it. Then they'll make it. It won't be very good, but everyone will go and see it because they've had to have made it.
Yeah.
Because then it's a win-win for them, because they went, well, we didn't have to put a huge amount of effort into making it the best ever, but you made us do it,
yeah.
So we made it, so you've got to go and pay to see it now.
Maybe. I don't think anyone's going to scream to see this. I'd be very interested to see who did like it.
Well, shall I have a look and see if I can find you a...
Because that 55%'s got to have come from somewhere, Dan.
There's that. I'm pretty sure all of the critic reviews that are on here will be
awful,
terrible, poorly made, blah blah blah. Let me see if I can find you a... There it is.
I want a nice positive
13%. 55 from the audience. So let's see if we can just filter down by fresh, shall we? Here we go. If you feel worn out and weary of another superhero movie, give Madam Web a shot. Don't know.
It's different to your traditional comic book movie. I'll give them that.
Okay, that's not really a review. Masterpiece? No. Enjoyable for what it is? Possibly. For a select few, that will be enough. That's not really enough to justify a positive rating, but sure.
Well, that just seems indifferent.
Yeah, which again, I'd err on the... Like, if you go, is it a masterpiece? No. Is it enjoyable? Maybe. For a select few, that'll be enough. If you're not one of the select few, then it's poo, isn't it? I actually really enjoyed spending time with these characters. I'm assuming that by these characters they meant Dakota Johnson and Adam Scott, because those are the only ones that I ever felt had any connection whatsoever.
I mean, I'd honestly say just Dakota Johnson. I love Adam Scott, but he had like 12 minutes of screen time.
But I was just sort of like, as a Ben Parker, he's
I think he's
cool.
a great shout. I think he's a really good shout. He's just massively underutilized.
Yeah. If you were to believe the thermonuclear attack launched by the world's motion picture critics against Madam Web, you could be forgiven for expecting it to be amongst the worst entries of the superhero genre. But is it really that bad? Well, no. Well, Jim Shembry, sorry mate, but you're
Has he
wrong.
got a reason for it?
No,
That's it.
Unless there's a full review.
You can't say that and not give a reason. This is my opinion.
Oh, well, he's a journalist, critic, and author based in Australia. So should we have a look at what his other reviews might be, just to give us a bit of context, just in case he's like
Morbius,
he's
Venom.
absolutely nailing it. But he might have an opinion that we just haven't thought about.
Maybe, unlikely, but maybe.
So, story from the streets, Barbie. He's interviewing the homeless. Something about robots. Not very consistent in terms of his... I'm not going to look through his website, unfortunately, but the only good thing that can be said is that it's not the worst film based on a Marvel comic book. It will take a mighty effort to dethrone Morbius. Again, when you're saying that this isn't the worst film that's ever superhero movie that's ever been made, another one is, but this one's only slightly better than that, your review should not be fresh.
No. If you genuinely enjoyed it, fair enough.
But you're saying, oh, it's terrible, but it's not as terrible as this other terrible one.
There's a review here from Christy Lemire, robertegbit.com. Madam Web is not the unmitigated disaster that its clunky trailer or calendar spot in February would suggest.
I'd say the trailer saved it, if anything.
I mean, yeah, but filled with cheesy dialogue we're used to seeing in comics, Madam Web recognises the origin that it's trying to sell. I guarantee,
no, it doesn't.
Rachel Leishman from the Mary Sue, you've never read a comic book in your life.
Also, do you understand what that origin was supposed to be? Because if you don't, then you don't really have a leg to stand on, do you?
Although it gets its feet a little tangled at the start, Madam Web weaves a strong and cohesive narrative celebrating feminine leadership, a rejection of pessimistic fatalism, and the empowerment that comes with embracing responsibility. When did any of that happen?
I think that's what they wanted to happen.
Which is fine. That's what they're going for. That's great. Within 5 minutes of Madam Web, I heard in my head, it's Morbin time.
We're done.
We're done. It's just not good. However, Dan, we've got things to look forward to. Wednesday, you don't care, but Wednesday, we've got new season of The Bad Batch starting. Next month, we've got a brand new season of X-Men 97.
That makes me actually want to watch an old cartoon from 1996 and 7, which I don't want to do because I know it'll be poo.
I think it holds up still. I've still got a very big soft spot for X-Men to the point.
But that's probably because you remember most of it. I'm going to watch this pretty much going in fresh because I can't remember shit from that series back in the day.
I will say, some point last year, I put it on to watch Logan. For Logan to watch from the get-go. I love this cartoon when I was your age. It was fantastic. This was my life. And then he watched like 7 or 8 episodes before he got bored. But I understand that because that's a young kid seeing something that was quite old. Animation-wise, that hasn't aged the best. Looking at the trailer, though, Dan, it seems that they're using the same people and the same method that they used to make What If. But they just slapped an old filter on it.
I don't mind the look of the animation. It looks cheap, but it's just sort of like, but okay, you're trying to emulate what it looked like, where every line was like, oh God, could we afford to go back and undo that and then redo it again? I don't really have an issue with the like how it looks. Mm-hmm. I think it looks like it's a modern take on an old cartoon. That's okay. I'm more concerned as to why the hell they're doing it. Like, because
why not? I mean,
why?
I think they're trying to capture that nostalgia thing more than anything else.
Maybe.
Because I prefer they just made a new X-Men.
We've got the rights back, so we'll this is an easy thing we can dust off to kind of keep people ticking over. And if that's the case, cool. I'll watch it and I'll see if I enjoy it.
I can't wait. Very much looking forward to it.
But just sort of like an old, 15-minute, it's Monster of the Week, Story of the Week. We touch on a few decent comic stories from the X-Men.
Well, that was the one thing they never did with the X-Men cartoons. It was very, very few times it was your Monster of the Week thing, and they were all connected stories. It was more like just like an ongoing soap opera with superheroes, like obviously tackling a lot of the stuff that the X-Men's comics are known for. But a lot of it will be like Part 6 of fucking 24 Apocalypse and for the Phoenix Saga and everything. Like there's only a handful of standalone episodes. Everything else is all connected, which was different to a lot of the cartoons that were being shown at the time. Which is why I think a lot of people liked it.
But then does that mean they're going to do the same thing then? Are they just going to continue an old story from 30 years ago? Or are they going to be making a new story that they could then arc out into?
It picks up directly at the end of the final season of the
original. I got that from the trailer. Yeah.
So I assume it's either going to carry on that story or start a new arc. That's what I would assume. Oh, Wolverine got his claws infused with Gambit's energy. That was a cool bit in the trailer.
Yeah, that's That's new. I've never seen that before.
I've never seen it personally, but I've seen him do it with fire, but not with fucking psionic energy.
Yeah, because it's like it's
kinetic. Sorry, because it's to the point of Gambit will touch it and he'll go and then explode. So is that what's going to happen to his claws?
No, not if you can stab someone with them quick enough. Transfer all that energy out so they explode.
It just seemed like a cool visual thing that afterwards they've just gone, "Hush, wait a minute." But I started watching it, and then since that trailer, I've just picked up and carried on watching it again. I've only got I think I've got 12 episodes left, and then I'm fully up to date again. But I've got a massive soft spot for it though, so. If you don't think you're going to enjoy it, don't watch it.
I mean, again, I don't have a solid sort of thing one way or another. I don't think I'd go back and watch it from the start because I'd be like, fuck me, this is like when I was a kid and it was Saturday morning and I'm up and I've got nothing better to do and there's only 3 other channels that I can watch.
Yeah.
This is the best thing I've got, and it's colourful and flashing or whatever. Whereas now, where I've got time on my hands, I'm just sort of like, I'm not wasting my own life on this. I'd rather go back and watch Community again.
I think it was worse on TV when we were younger because they didn't show them in order. So they
would have done.
Nah, a lot of the time it was just because it's the way that the Syndicate, like how it's shown through Syndicate. So you'd have part 1, part 2, new episode, part 3, part 4. It's just how they were shown. Loads of TV shows did it in the 90s. Fucking loads of them. To the point of even like now, do you remember Dinosaurs?
Of it, I know of it. Yeah.
The only time you can see that in its actual chronological order is when the DVD came out, and now on obviously Disney Plus. A lot of the episodes were shown out of sync.
Why?
Don't know. Simpsons do it as well. When it used to be on BBC, it wasn't episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was just random episodes, and which is why sometimes you'd be expecting a part 2 or something to not get that because it's just how they have to be shown for whatever reason.
See, I don't remember because like watching things like Star Trek or Buffy or something like that was very much you didn't have to necessarily watch them in order unless it was a 2-parter or a season end.
Yeah.
Season start, but I don't remember seeing because there's not a huge amount of times that would be like, oh my god, remember this thing last week that we did. Like, it's very rarely that would happen, and it could have just been all out of order, but I just don't remember because some nights I would have been watching it, some nights I wouldn't have. Yeah. Like if that's the only option that I had available to me now, then I'd be like, what the fuck, why are you in this galaxy all of a sudden? What happened?
I think that's the benefit of not having like a more of a Monster of the Week self-contained episodes is you can show it in any order you want, unless you're introducing new characters that are then. So if you watch Power Rangers and then all of a sudden there's an orange Power Ranger, you go, where the fuck did this one come from? And then the next episode they're not there. You don't see them again for 7 seasons. Just go, wait, what?
It's like, oh my god, remember then that character died last week? What?
Yeah, exactly. But that was the biggest problem with the X-Men though, is because they was all linked. It was. I mean, I wouldn't say it was jarring when you're a kid because you don't care. You just go, hey, there's Wolverine. And that's all I'm bothered about. But obviously, now, like you say, if that's how stuff was shown now, you'd notice immediately.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it still, nonetheless. I don't think I got anything else though. I think Madam Web's just killed off any joy that I had going on.
I mean, I'm hoping that this is making some people at Sony Pictures really think about what they're actually planning on doing here. Like, DC managed to grab James Gunn and just be like, can you just be the face of our now all connected universe or whatever? You can be the face of it. You can be the Feige. You can just say that you're in control of everything. If Kraven bombs, if Venom 3 bombs, not commercially, I just mean critically, then maybe they have to go, we need to get someone to give us some direction or we need Disney to make us an offer because we don't know what we're doing and we're losing more money than we're making.
That's all they need, though. They need a Kevin Feige or a James Gunn. That's all they need.
But I'm surprised it's taking them this long to figure it out.
No, because What's-Her-Face won't give it up. What's her name? I forgot her name, but it's the one that's always in on the interviews, especially with the Spider-Man when they were deciding what was happening. And she'd be like saying, "Oh, this is what we've agreed, and this is what we're going to do." But then the camera's just zooming in on Kevin Feige. He's just like, it's like clearly not what they've agreed. And I can't remember her name for the life of me.
No, I don't know.
She's got hair like out here.
That doesn't help.
So, but yeah, she won't give it up. That's the Kevin Feige that they've got.
Right.
It's no. It's not going to work. The best thing, like you just said, the best thing they can do is just sell. No, they can't, because even if they get to a point of they've got a good structure and they've got a solid guidance, they're gonna have to scrap everything they've already done and start again.
They might as well just say, on like a case by case, film by film basis, you can have any of the characters that we have. So we've got Morbius, we've got Venom, we've got Spider-Man, we've got Madam Web that we've now set up or whatever, like, and the Spider-Verse animated stuff. Yeah. We've got all of that. If you want to do something and put them in the MCU, then we won't do anything towards it, but you can pay to rent that character.
Yeah.
Because I think they'd probably take that and say, sure, we'll take Venom off you and we'll show you how it's done. Because then the more that they can do that, but the thing is, like, look at Fox, like, they were just releasing terrible film after terrible film after terrible film until, again, I think that Disney could make a reasonable argument of, we want these properties back, but we can't just buy them off you because you keep on making movies even though they're terrible. We'll buy you.
Yeah.
I don't think, with the best will in the world, that they've got enough money to buy Sony Pictures.
I'd assume they've got the money. It's just whether they'd be allowed.
It's not even a case of whether they'd be allowed. It's like, if you'd spent $100 billion to buy Sony Pictures and all of the properties that they own, can you recover that money for us? I wouldn't want to say yes to that.
Sony's market cap as of December 2023 is $114 billion.
That's what I mean. So at least that amount is going to be on the table. And then you need to recover that amount. So even if every film that you made that was a Sony property, like owned by Sony, even if every film that you pumped out made $1 billion, which is not going to happen, you'd have to make at least 114 movies. Yeah. And if every movie takes a few years or so to make, you're talking decades before you see a return on that investment.
I reckon what's the most? Is Endgame still the most
spent on
earned box office for a comic book movie?
I think it is, yeah, or possibly Infinity War, but yeah.
So one or the other. But I do reckon if Disney made a Marvel film that had Tom Hardy's Venom, fucking Morbius, Craven, Madam Web, plus all your MCU characters as well, I reckon that, whether it's a better movie is a different story, but I reckon that would make more financially, just because it would be people going, let's go see how it's done properly.
Yeah.
And again,
but I think there's also longevity. But there's a lot of people who won't understand the difference.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, Morbius, you go, oh no, I've already seen one of those, it was terrible. But they're not going to go, but it's okay because a different studio is making this one. Good. They're just going to go, no, I saw that, it's no good. I won't see another one.
Different studio making this one, this will be good. Who's making it now? You know, the guys that made the Eternals and the Marvels.
No, I think it just, like, the only way if they bought them, they'd have to introduce them in something else that was already popular.
Oh yeah,
it'd have to be Guardians 4 with Morbius.
Morbius is taken over from Rocket, and
then you get 10 minutes off them, and people are like, "Oh, that's how it should be done," which is exactly what they did with Spider-Man.
And you'd have Morbius takes over from Star-Lord because Peter's staying on Earth for a bit. But now he's got his little Walkman, but he's just 30 seconds to Mars and stuff that he's listening to. To be fair, to be self-aware enough that I'd find it quite funny, but
Yeah.
it's they're gonna have to do. They've got to do something. Can't keep on like this.
I think either Craven or Venom is going to be the turning point, I reckon, where they go. Because I think that when they get to Venom and they go, finally, we can make some more money. Because people go, oh, Tom Holland, I like Tom Holland. I like those Venom movies that Tom Holland's in.
Hardy.
They'll make some money back up. What did I say?
Holland.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Tom Hardy is what I meant, sorry. Yeah, I like him, so I'll go and watch movies. Like, women will go and see Tom Hardy films because Tom Hardy's in it. And I don't intend to be sexist there, but I've literally spoken to women who've just said, oh, I like him, he's fit, isn't he? I'll go and watch that with him in it.
Same with some people will for a lot of film with certain females in. I'll watch anything with Emma Stone in, but...
That's true,
but,
yeah.
Most of the time, they're good films. It's not too bad.
Most of the time, yeah. But it's like people just seem to get a bit blindsided by... Like, I almost want to say, do me a favour, still watch it if you like him. Don't pay to go and see it at the cinema, though. Wait till it comes out on Netflix, because you can still watch the film, you can still enjoy it, and you can, see him with his shirt off. Or if that's if that's literally the only reason you're going to see it, don't give him any money, because that all that does is encourage them. They think that this is okay, and I just need people to just think of the bigger picture, everyone, please. For me,
that's the worst thing about it. Like, Venom made a lot of money, but it doesn't mean it's a good film. And that's the problem with studios, especially studios like Sony, where they will just look at that, and that's why we've got Madam Web the way we've got it, because they like you've pointed out, you said it yesterday and you said it today. But Spider-Man, you love Spider-Man, like
yeah.
But they don't understand, and that's the worst bit of it. And it
that makes them sound like idiots. I don't think it's a case of they don't understand. I just don't think they care.
Oh, they care. That's rather. I mean, understand the property and what they've got and the people that they can influence. But when I have to sit here, and it pains me to say, but more care and effort went into Venom than it did any of these kind of movies, and I fucking hate that movie so much.
But if you took Tom Hardy out of Venom and replaced him with anyone,
be the same film,
that film would not have had a return.
No, we wouldn't have at all.
You wouldn't have three of them.
No. Again, it's selling power.
Yeah, they're investing more in the actors that they're putting in things. So they say we've got Dakota Johnson, we've got Adam Scott, we've got Emma Roberts, and then you say that you've seen one of the other Spider people in some TV show.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, so like people that people will recognise.
Yeah,
so
names.
It's the same as like when they started to do the Dark Universe again, and they got Tom Cruise to come in and do the Mummy, and they got Russell Crowe. They got the big stars in, but then they just can't make a film that fucking works, which means that it falls out on its arse, and they've got to start all over again. They're focusing on who's in it rather than what they're doing, and I think that's where they need to.
That's the sad truth to it. It works.
Like the MCU worked because they just got a bunch of basically nobodies, or like people that if you never saw them again, they've done things, but if you never saw them again, you wouldn't miss it. But they focused on making really interesting character stories that also happen to kind of tie into this bigger universe, and people were just like, oh my god, this is actually kind of incredible.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this.
And they're just trying to go. Here's a team of spider people. You know the Spider-Mans. You like all the Spider-Mans, don't you? Like they're talking to like idiot children.
Yeah. Is that
like they don't know any better? You're just sort of jingling keys, just going, "Oh look, Venom, Tom Hardy, you like that, don't you?"
We've got Spider-Man at home,
and it's better. I've got 10 minutes of Spider-Man in Civil War. That's way better.
but again, that's the difference between studios and people give it a shit. Like, and the MCU movies aren't perfect. There's a lot of problems with them.
No, and it's certainly lately.
I mean, yeah, but even then, that meme was the best way of putting it. Like, I look back quite fondly at the Marvels now, and like, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't great. It was just okay.
Maybe this is it. Maybe Sony took one for the team and just went, "We'll release a film that's so bad it'll make everything else look good by comparison."
Yeah. Maybe
because we like Brie Larson, so we want everyone to be like, well, it wasn't actually that bad. Like, If I've just seen this, I'll watch another. Give me a Marvels 2 over a Madam Web 2 any fucking day.
It's a shame though. I like Dakota Johnson in it, and I liked Adam Scott.
I don't. Yeah, I genuinely don't have any issue with the people that have ended up in this, and I completely believe in the same way that Jared Leto with the Joker in the Suicide Squad, where they were just like, "This isn't the film I'd signed up for."
Yeah.
Because you know for a fact that this is what they're going to be remembered. Maybe not Adam Scott so much, but Dakota Johnson. Like, remember when you led that terrible movie? Like, they're going to be talking about this for fucking years.
I think people will talk about it, but I think they'll forget about Dakota. Like, she's known for like 50 Shades and all that stuff. Like, she's got a big enough legacy that she can.
Well, maybe you're right. This is the sort of thing that in a couple of years, when she's on Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, she'll be like, "Yeah, God, it was terrible, wasn't it? Yeah. Fucking hell." When I saw that at the premiere, I couldn't believe that that was the film that I ended up like. All of the shit that we got that was cool that was cut out, all of it was gone. Like, it was a totally different movie.
I'd just be of the case of going on, like say, going on to like Jimmy Kimmel and these kind of talk shows and stuff, and it's a case of but all the critics and all the audience that didn't like it, they all paid to go and see it. I got paid shitloads of money to be in it, so it's
I'll take it. I'll take a paycheck.
I got everything I needed out of it because it's not like this was her first film and she'll never get a job again. Yeah. She's still Dakota Johnson, so if anything, it would have harmed somebody like someone like Adam Scott. This might be his only superhero film, and he might just go, "No, I'm not doing it again." And I think it's a shame because I think he particularly would fit the MCU in that Paul Rudd-esque way.
Yeah, I could see him in sort of like a Paul Rudd, sort of quick talking, but bit of a doofus.
But that's I think
but lovable,
especially in stuff like Parks and Rec, like his delivery, whether it's comedic, whether it's meaningful, whether it's sad, whatever he's doing, he's got good delivery. He's a good actor, and not in this, but.
Well, what else is it? Has he had any other movie roles?
Movie-wise, I couldn't possibly say off the top of my head. Definitely yes, but I've seen him in more TV shows than anything else.
I definitely want to say yes. I'm assuming there's something I'm going to see and be like, "Oh, of course he's in that."
Yeah, I mean that's what it'll be.
I thought it said Ghostbusters then. It's definitely not Ghostbusters. So he does have obviously a lot of acting credits. I was hoping that it would.
Can you filter into like TV show and movies on? IMDb, are you?
Yeah, that's what I was hoping I could do, but I don't think it's going to.
Because he's also done a lot of like producing and directing, hasn't he? Over the years.
Yeah, but that does separate out for you.
No, so that's a good thing then.
Yeah, so TV. Between Two Ferns, the movie, but presumably that says him.
Yeah.
TV, music series, music video, TV series, TV. The Disaster Artist, he was in that. I don't remember him being in that, but that was a good film. TV. Something called Flower, which I think is a movie. Bits and pieces, not anything that I think you'd. Parks and Rec, Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
That's a film.
Yeah, fair enough. That is a film. But again, I'm pretty sure he'd be playing himself in that. Oh, no, that's not. I'm thinking of.
You know what you are forgetting, Dan?
End.
You're forgetting one.
What?
When we did. We did. We did a quiz thing ages ago. He's in a Star Trek film.
Oh, of course, he's in First Contact, isn't he?
Sure. I remember him in a Star Trek film. I don't remember the film.
Oh, he's in Step Brothers. Of course he is. He plays fucking Will Ferrell's little brother, doesn't he? When he punches him out of the... Like, he's singing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, he's had some... Yeah,
a handful. More TV show than movies.
More so, yeah. But, like, the films that he's done, they're not all sort of, like, low-budget indie things that no one's ever heard of. I think he'll be fine from this. I think, if anything, this will be another one where he's sort of like... I was there for, like, 2 days, man.
Yeah.
Like,
which I can believe.
They paid me. It was fine. I didn't really commit too much of my time to it. It doesn't feel like anyone really did, like other than Dakota, unfortunately.
I imagine they could have knocked most of these scenes up in a week or 2 weeks tops.
Yeah. However, Callum,
I want to go. This has already been longer than it should have been for this fucking dog shit
I want to
movie.
throw myself off a building and get hit in the face with a firework and get blinded. Because if I could never watch that film again, I'll live and die happy.
Well, we're not anytime soon anyway. But Dan, if you want to watch some other things instead, you can go to podcastversusplayer.com. It's all going along the bottom of the screen, but we've got Let's Plays, we've got more spoiler cast type things, and we've got, did I mention reviews, Dan? Did I mention we're reviewing this thing here?
What is it?
It's a P64 4K projector. And
Ooh,
that's currently in the middle of writing that up and filming that and stuff. So that'll be up next week. But yeah, there's loads of stuff on there. Go and look at it. Don't watch Madam Web. And
don't pay Sony money to keep making these films.
Instead of watching Madam Web, just listen to this podcast. They'll give you everything you need to know.
Buy their cameras, buy their TVs, buy their audio equipment, buy their hardware. Do not support them making movies.
Some movies.
I'll have a look at the Sony library and see what else they've been pumping out lately, but certainly their Sony Marvel properties, please, just public service announcement.
Excluding Spider-Verse stuff. We need them.
But I just want them to do part 3 and then just be done with it, because I know that they'll get their hands in it now, and they'll be like, no, we need 6 of these, and this is what you want it to look like.
I'm pretty sure this is the last one.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So they've gone, we managed to get away with this. We did the first one, it flew under the radar. They gave us a bigger budget for the second one that we turned into 2 parts, and now they're going to be like, oh, let's get involved, let's do this, and we go, no, we're not doing it anymore. Yeah, so if you want to do it, you can do, but we're stepping out.
Go out on a high. Go out on a high.
Indeed.
So, as we're going to do, Dan. So we'll see you on the next one, and we'll see you on the next one, because I've got precognitive powers.
Wow.
No, I couldn't think of another joke, so bye.